curious. Okay.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Y'all look nice.
Thank you.
Oh, we're color coordinated too.
People get ready. The train is coming. Don't need nobody. Just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop. Today, we have some hot breaking news on our show. We have the Key Bank is the worst bank in Cuyahoga County for African Americans. Let me say this again. Key Bank is the worst bank in Cuyahoga County for African Americans in making loans, according to Cuyahoga County government report on ClevelandPlainDealer.com. It says Bibb's video podcast, People Get Ready, will host a summit. When? Okay. It would be on what can African Americans do about Key Bank's bad report. What can we do? The summit will be held Saturday, May the 20th, 2023 at Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Public Library. And the address is 1962 Stokes Boulevard. The zip code is 44106. Okay, the doors open at 3 p.m. and refreshments will be served. Oh, the summit begins at 3:30, okay, with guest speakers. And the summit ends at 5 p.m. All organizations and churches are welcome to attend the summit and speak. It is now time for more great information from the People Get Ready podcast. And we want to bring to you the CEO himself, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., all the way from East Cleveland, Ohio, and Bibb Record Shop. Bring it on, Mr. Bibbs. Take it away.
Thank you, Reverend Fair. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful job.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Key Bank, they all were on the news 5 o'clock today, trying to explain this increase they just got from the federal government and saying they are holding on, they're okay.
Yes.
But they got to wrestle with this 25% or 1% increase they're going to be getting soon.
Okay.
And they're going to be hurt. You know that another bank failed this week.
Yes.
Right. So banks are in trouble.
Yes.
Instead of treating people bad, they need to be treating people good.
That's right, Mr.
And Key Bank is a regional bank. So we have some information that we're going to share with you later. The meeting is going to be the 20th.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bibb.
Right. Now, if we're going down to Atlanta, Georgia, Dr. Gwen Jarvis, where there's an active shooter right now.
Really?
Mr. Payton is he on the line? Jeff Payton?
He hasn't joined us yet, but I'm sure he'll be joining soon.
All right. Ms. Gwen Jarvis,
Yes, sir.
are you ready to bring us up to date on what happened in Columbus
Yes.
last week
Yes, I am.
at the statewide convention?
Okay. All right.
Would you, before you tell us what happened, tell us a little bit about who compiled the convention.
Okay. All right. I'd like to thanks for having this opportunity to be once again on People Get Ready and to be back here with the crew.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Okay. Once a year, there is a library advocacy day. Sometimes I can't say that word, across the country in support of libraries. And this has been taking place for some time, but it's really been active since 2009. And why is that?
Mhm.
Because they want to close the libraries. And some states have already closed libraries and more in the making. However, the CleveNet system in our area is one of the top 10 libraries in the United States of America. And they're doing good. They're doing good. And they're doing a lot of things to engage people into being visiting a library besides the computers. So I'm an advocate and I'm a patron and an advocate, and I represent the library at the General Assembly in Columbus every year. So the format is that the libraries from all the state come together and someone speaks on behalf of the library from the area that they're from. We have an opportunity to also visit our representatives in the state and the Senate and let them hear what we have to say. And what I had an opportunity to do is to be with Ken Smith and Terrence Upchurch this time, besides the ones that I know from other areas. So that was very interesting. So some of the things, there are talking points that we like to address. Do you know how many libraries we had in the state of Ohio?
How many?
251.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of libraries.
It is.
And the libraries at this time, to make sure that they bring people in, they have food, meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And also one thing that I like about too, that they're bringing in craft shops so people can learn crafts and sewing rooms.
Oh.
And I had an opportunity until COVID to teach sewing in 3 of the libraries here. So that's another interesting thing too, is that the budget is still in the process for the federal government. So that means that, and they're going to decrease the funds that the states are going to get. Our budget is in the making right now also. So that means that if the federal government decreases the funds, that means on the state level, it's going to decrease the funds. So if you go in the libraries and you see books are for sale, they're not trying to shift them. They're trying to shift them around, but they're also trying to bring extra funds into the libraries. And in most of the libraries, they have a sign, and a lot of people don't notice it. It has a sign on it, Save Your Libraries. What the Cleveland system, since we're here in the greater Cleveland area, and what they're developing is a reads program. So they're trying to get, 1 million minutes for people to read. So they're hoping that we can get close to 1,500 readers to take out about 130,000 books. And they want to do this by the end of the year. And also to distribute close to 150 books to people. That means the books are for sale, they can give those books to people. And for doing that, you'll earn a badge that you can wear that says Cleveland Read.
Okay.
A lot of systems too. We have that new thing, it's called that emergency number 988. Okay. That 988 also is to let you know that libraries have hotspots. Where some communities don't have internet, they have hotspots. So if you call 988, you can find what library has a hotspot, because a lot of communities are very short of internet, so they can go for hotspots. So those are some of the things about our library, besides it being a safe place. Very much interested in education and reading. Literacy. It's important because we know we're on technology all the time. We got to learn how to read.
Yes.
Right.
You have to learn everybody needs to learn how to read. And it was also shared with us that 52% of the third graders can't even read third grade level.
Oh, gosh.
And that's a sad thing, third grade. So what they want to earmark those kids might be some problem kids later in life because of the libraries. So So the bottom line is that the funds will be decreased, but at this time, no one has said that our libraries will close. Our libraries are almost in a safe place.
That's great.
And when we invite people to register to vote, we want to educate them about voting because for the past few years, that libraries have been on the ballots. So we have to make sure that we be advocates for people to not only register to vote, but to get out and vote, especially when it comes to things that's close to home, like our libraries. Are there any questions?
Before we get started, would you tell the host how many libraries in the state of Ohio?
251 libraries in the state of Ohio.
Would you tell them how many African-American directors?
Directors, we only have one
No, that's not right.
in the state of Ohio.
No.
In
We
the state
have
of
three.
Ohio.
We have three.
Okay, we have three. We had the one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Let me give it to you. Cleveland has an African-American. Euclid have an African-American. And East Cleveland has an African-American.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. How many libraries are there?
251.
And how many African-American directors?
You said three.
No, I didn't say three.
Okay,
Three. But you can check it.
okay. But
You
I
said one, but
said one.
yeah. But you forgot your
Well,
good
we have-
friend Carlos is a director, right?
Okay,
You know
all
him,
right.
right?
okay.
And you know the director of Cleveland.
But the one in,
You
okay.
could, you probably don't know.
I
Tell
have
the
to say
name.
what,
Miss Candace Jones will tell you her full name.
okay,
Casey Armstrong.
okay,
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Uh,
All right. So that's in the.
now, you had asked questions. You don't
Oh, any
now.
questions?
What
Yeah.
about the budget? Did they tell you?
That is, that
They
there have to
told
be,
you, this is what you told me.
they have a decrease in the
No,
budget.
no. Let me finish.
Okay,
A legislator told the doc that the federal government cut the budget.
Mhm.
I told Doc, he lied to you. They ain't cut the budget because they don't even have a budget in the United States of America.
Mhm.
So Doc, being the doc she is, she called her good friend Shed Brown.
Mhm.
And what did Shed Brown tell you?
well, then it's in they're still working on
No.
it.
Well, the state legislature told you they cut the budget.
Yes.
And
The state
and what did the United States Senator tell you?
Well, what he said is that he said everything is in what he said is everything is in the process of being cut.
So who lied? The state legislator or the United States Senator?
Well, I shared Brown's on the federal level, but what our legislator is looking at is how it's affecting the state of Ohio.
No, we don't have a budget.
Nobody has a
researched it.
budget.
No,
Right
no,
now.
I didn't say nobody had a budget. I said the United States don't have a budget.
Oh no, the United States don't
They,
have a
they
budget.
don't even meet with the president about the budget.
Oh.
They ain't gonna meet about the budget.
But Sher Brown said
No,
he's
no,
glad
no,
to come
no.
on.
Shed Brown didn't tell you they passed the budget. It was the state legislator told you, but he didn't know that you was hooked up. He thought you would believe him when he told you, oh, they cut the budget at the federal level, you won't get no money. But I wanted you to know that you have a connection.
Mhm.
United States Senator Shed Brown is your friend. You have access to him, and you found out that there had been a budget. And next week, I want you to report on how the budget coming for the United States.
Well, what I did do, I
No,
asked.
no,
Okay.
no. You did a good report.
Okay.
I want you to report next week how the budget coming that the state legislator told you that been cut.
Hmm.
All right?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Go ahead,
Okay,
Reverend
and
Fair.
here's
Now, hold, you
Okay.
get your report.
okay.
Go ahead, Reverend Fair.
Oh, I
No.
was just gonna say, it's since we're talking about the budget
Hmm.
and possibly the budget that doesn't exist
Nobody.
may be cut. Maybe perhaps we can, is it possible that the libraries can reach out to private organizations and possibly get grants to sustain their budget?
Well, they're working on that. Yep, they're
Okay.
working on that.
Okay,
And I did ask Sherry Brown about coming on the podcast, and he said he'll come.
okay,
Yeah, he'd asked about coming. Everything was already set for today, but yeah, he'll come on and talk about it.
okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Mrs. Candace.
No, I don't.
Candace, don't, you know, that big Green Gap of 3 library directors in the
Yeah,
whole
so-
state.
Okay.
You want to know anything?
No, I think
I forgot.
Dr.
about that.
Jarvis gave a great report, so I don't have any questions right now.
All right, very good,
And then here's
Jan-
information for everybody. I had them to make some copies.
very good, very good.
Okay.
And then, and I can,
Here's one for you. Okay.
Doc did tell me about, United States Senator Sherrod Brown, that he wanted to come on the show,
Mhm.
and we will set it up, in a couple of weeks,
Okay.
because we want to make sure he's available, and then we want to promote it the week before he comes
Okay.
on. So
Right.
it's a little rough, and since I explained to you how they work at the national level and the budget, the Speaker of the House, Doc,
Mhm.
won't even meet with the president about the budget. Just to do an outline of the budget. They wanted to meet last week and he was traveling all over the world. And they don't have a date set for when they're gonna meet. So we'll try to get a little closer, because I want to do it in May
Mhm.
while they're in session. You can do this for me also. Find out when they're gonna break this session. They
Okay.
got about 8 days that they're gonna be in
Yeah,
session.
he told me 2 weeks.
That's what I tell you.
Yeah. 2
Find out
weeks.
when they're gonna break,
Okay.
the date they're gonna break, and we wanna have him on before they break,
Okay.
so his information will be fresh.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Very good. Did Miss Penman get in? Shan Penman?
No, she has not arrived yet.
Okay, all right. Reverend Fair,
Yes, sir.
would you give us your first report, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Bibb, will do. We have a report coming all the way from Tennessee or the White House.
Wow.
Yes, sir. And my report headline is President Biden thanks Tennessee 3 for standing up for our kids at White House meeting. It says President Biden on Monday thanked the 3 Tennessee lawmakers for standing up after they faced expulsion for participating in the gun control protests at their state house. It says, you are standing up for our kids. You're standing up for our communities. Mr. Biden told Representative Justin Pearson, Representative Justin Jones, and Representative Gloria Johnson during the overall office meeting, flanked by Vice President Kamala Harris. Mr. Biden described the expulsion votes as shocking and undemocratic. Nothing is guaranteed about our democracy. Every generation has to fight for it. He said, the episode has turned the lawmakers, known as the Tennessee 3, Mr. Bibbs, into a Democratic heroes. Harris also visited Nashville earlier this month to show her support. The State House protest took place days after the shooting at the Covenant School, a private Christian school where 3 children and 3 adults were killed. The lawmakers approached the front of the House chambers with a bullhorn as protesters filled the galleries. The Republicans who controlled the Tennessee legislature called for their expulsion because their disruptive House proceedings. Pearson and Jones, both Black, were expelled, while Johnson was not. Pearson and Jones were later reinstated on an interim basis by local officials, and they planned to run in a special election to finish their terms. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said last week that Mr. Biden was proud and participatory to see the 3 Tennessee representatives calling for stronger gun restrictions, particularly a ban on so-called assault weapons. During a phone call earlier this month, Mr. Biden thanked them for speaking out for standing their grounds and being very clear about what's needed to protect their community, Jean-Pierre said. And that concludes that report, Mr. Bibbs.
That's a very good report. And it's amazing what happened in a 3-week period.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. James Jerome Bell, are you in the room?
Yes, I am.
Would you come to the table, please? I haven't seen African Americans move this fast across the country
Mm-hmm.
since Martin Luther King.
Yes.
They went from 0 notoriety to every show on TV
Yes.
and going on 2nd and 3rd time around, because they didn't just come out and protest with their citizens. They continue to work. And we have to do something as a part of our Juneteenth. And I want Dr. Gwen Jarvis to look up, work with Ms. Sharon Penman, what we're gonna do. Because Doc told me the story of why they wear white when they make a big move.
Yes.
And I want to put that in there as a part of our event that we do at the library, Dr. Jarvis, on that Saturday, 17th. Ms. Sharon Penman, in honor of them young men.
That's great.
And they're 27 years old and moving like a Amtrak train with no brakes, no gears.
Yeah. You know what came to my mind, Mr. Bibbs? You know, the scripture says when Joseph was sold off by his brothers,
Yeah.
the enemy meant it for my bad,
Bad.
but God meant it for my good.
Very good.
Yeah, they became heroes.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
And the reason I brought Brother James Jerome Bell to the table, James Jerome Bell,
Yes.
speak to that about us. What you think of those young state representatives from Tennessee?
Well, I think it's an amazing thing that, you know, those of youth and courage are able to move forward in today's landscape politically and truly make a statement from the standpoint that they're able to let their voices be heard, let freedom ring, and move forward in such a dynamic way that it truly gives me hope for the future.
Very good. Ms. Candace Jones, would you like to say something about the state reps? The Tennessee 3?
I can't, what's been expressed already are my thoughts as well, is that, this is just amazing that, something like this can go down in our history.
Dr. Jarvis, Sharon Pittman, any words you want to say about the 3 young men? Since your committee just expanded to James Jerome Bill, to the piece that we will doing, what are your opinion on those 3 state reps from Nashville, Tennessee? What do you think of it?
I don't actually have a comment right now, Mr. Bibb. I'm going to reserve my comment for a little later when we speak on this topic another time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Dr. Jarvis,
Yes.
you got a comment.
In giving my report about the library and teaching people encouraging people to go out and vote, I think it's a wonderful thing how these young men these individuals have set an example that not only did they go out and vote, but they also petitioned and they became elected officials. That sets an example for those across the country.
Okay, share with the audience a little bit, not much, about the white power movement,
About the
white power dress. Could you share with me?
I don't
Go
have,
all the way back to the women.
okay. Can I yield to that?
No,
Because
tell me why the women were white.
well, because it stands for power. That's why women wear white.
No, whoa, white.
Huh?
When the women came together for that power.
Okay, it was about them being advocates for a purpose. And I don't have all that information in front of me because I'd
Very
much
good.
rather tell you.
Because I didn't want to do it
Okay, yeah. It's
tonight.
about,
I want you to do it for the
okay,
Juneteenth event.
okay, yeah, let me do it right.
Right. No, I want you to do it. Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. It's we're going to Detroit, Michigan. We're going to pay some bills. Mr. James Panica's in the house.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me, Mr.
James,
Bibb?
from Detroit, Michigan. Putting together, talk a little louder down there while I'm talking, so I want to hear y'all while I'm talking.
Oh, we didn't say anything.
He's here.
Yeah.
Panic is here.
Can you hear me, Mr.
Mr.
Bibb?
James Panica. All right. We have a brand new date for the big event's gonna happen. So I'm gonna let you tell the whole story, date and all. Would you do that for us, please?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes. Exciting things are happening this month. We have on May 23rd, we have a documented millionaire, a $60 million man is coming into Cleveland, Ohio to launch one of the biggest business opportunities to hit Cleveland. And he's bringing a documented billionaire with him into the city to sit down with Mr. Bibb and all of Mr. Bibb's VIP guests. So you are going to want to get on Mr. Bibb's VIP list to sit down with a $60 million African-American gentleman and a documented billionaire to find out the business tips that they are going to be sharing with everybody, because they are going to be launching the Aluva business right there in Cleveland, and already it is starting to change people's lives. I mean, Mr. Bibb is on fire with this, and already he is starting to change people's lives, because what they have done is they have merged the health and wellness industry along with the hands-off, automatic what do you want to call a hedge fund trading platform, and it's the first legal hands-off hedge fund trading platform in the United States. And what's so unique about this is this hedge fund trading platform, people have to usually spend $100 million plus to be able to put their money into this hedge fund, because this is the hedge fund that all the banks put their money with, the banks and the insurance companies, and we have the opportunity to get in with them, and not the over the counter side where everybody goes with those crypto opportunities and everything where they're losing their money. We're on that big side where we don't lose. And we have a chance for people to actually have a chance to put their money somewhere and set it in there and let it grow and get an average of 2 to 20% compounded daily, where your banks are giving you 0.005% daily. You have a chance to get anywhere from 2 to 20% daily. Now we're talking about something that could impact Cleveland's economy seriously, and Mr. Bibb is on fire. And I want to congratulate Pastor Ben Fair. He has just joined Mr. Bibb today. And these two gentlemen are going to be sitting down with that documented billionaire, bringing a team of people, and they're going to be launching the 23rd of this month in certain locations, but ending up at 7 p.m. at Chandler Park, and it's going to make history. So, Mr.
Thank
Bibb,
you, Mr. Paddock. I don't want you to leave yet. I want you to tell us about the health product before you leave.
okay. You broke up, Mr. Bibb.
I would just share with our listening and looking audience, viewing audience, the health product and what it's good for.
You said the
Can you
hair
hear me
product.
now?
You said the hair product.
Health products.
Oh, the health
The
product. Right. Sorry, my connection was a little bit bad. The health product. Yeah, what we have is we have something called Life Greens. And the Life Greens is a microgreen that is made up of a lot of fruits, vegetables, trace minerals, and a lot of things, but it has been engineered. It's all natural, but it's been put together for maximum absorption into the body. And this product is got people. I mean, people, when they drink it, because it has been engineered for maximum absorption, soon as you drink it, you feel something. In fact, we have a young lady who is 75 years old, originally from Cleveland, living in Houston, Texas. She gets up at 5 a.m, does 5 miles, walks 5 miles every day, and is out walking people who are 20 years younger than her, because these Life Greens are making her body feel wonderful. In fact, the Life Greens right now on me, my endocrinologist took me off one of my insulins on Monday. In fact, my A1C dropped down to 6.0 from 7.2 since I've been using the Life Greens. I mean, you should see it. My blood sugars are like between 110 and 90 every day, no matter what I eat, pasta, ice cream, it doesn't matter. My blood sugars are excellent. I mean, my blood pressure is 127/62, and I'm 340 pounds, Mr. Bibb. These Life Greens
All
are
right.
powerful.
Okay, since you did not mention the young lady from Houston, Texas, you can do two things. Tell her who the number one producer in the whole company and how you met her in Utah, and give us her name.
Well, the young lady from Houston, Texas, she used to live in Cleveland, Ohio originally. Her name is Miss Dorothy Cook. She is the #1 producer in the company, and that young lady is 75 years old. I mean, when I met her in Utah at the company headquarters, she ran down the aisle. I'm talking about ran down the aisle to the stage and was dancing to Simply the Best. And she had so much energy. It was incredible. I mean, she's young, she has blonde hair. This is just incredible. I mean, this was somebody that just exuded energy, excitement, and power. This young lady, in fact, she's going to be in Houston, Texas with that $60 million man coming up. They're going to be doing a big presentation together live in Houston, Texas in about a week. So, I mean, she's traveling around. I think she's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia also. So I'm telling you, we have some awesome products with this company. We have an awesome hedge fund. We're hitting both sides of the gambit, and believe me, we are going to be changing lives, Mr. Bibb.
All right, Mr. Panicus, I appreciate that. And the reason I had you call Dorothy Cook's name, a lot of us have worked under Dorothy Cook before when she did Body Magic. Remember that, Dr. Gwen Jarvis? Body
Mhm.
Magic?
Mhm.
Went under Miss Joanne Holly
Mhm.
was the leader in the greater Cleveland area during those times. There was Body Magic at a leave. And Dorothy Cook was the #1 person in the United States with that company. And now she's over with this company.
In
Very
fact,
good.
in fact,
And
Mr.
it
Bibb,
is Tuesday, May 23rd. Yeah, go right ahead.
in fact,
Go ahead, Mr. Panicus.
the president of Body Magic is our chief marketing officer over here, the gentleman that took Body Magic from just $100,000 a year to over $800 million. That gentleman, Philip LeBlanc, is the chief marketing officer for Aluva. So just let you know
Philip
that
is over here. What is
yes,
his title with this company?
he's the chief marketing officer.
Oh
Him,
my goodness.
him and Dorothy Cook have partnered up again, to do it. In fact, I was just on the phone with him. He's making he's making the arrangements, for Gavin to come into Mr. Gavin Dixon to come into Cleveland. In fact, Philip said he was going to try to make it into Cleveland himself to come see everybody. Mr.
Okay,
Philip LeBlanc is very
I'm running
hands-on.
out of time,
All right.
but that's Tuesday, May 23rd. Start marking your calendars. We're going to have continental breakfast. We're going to have a luncheon and a private business reception with the $60 million man, Robert Dean Jr., and the $1 billion man.
Mr.
It's
Gavin
going to be
Dixon.
great. A great day. Give it that name again.
Mr. Gavin Dixon.
All right. Thank you very kindly, and be talking to you soon.
All right. See you
All
guys at
right.
the top.
All right.
Thank you.
See you.
Miss Candace, you got several spots coming, but would you tell us about what's happening in August with the election board, state of Ohio?
I sure will. So it has already been passed that Ohio will have a special election in August, on August the 8th, 2023. So one of the issues that will be on this ballot in August will be a proposed amendment to the Ohio Constitution to appear on the ballot at a special election August 8th, 2023. Requires any future constitutional amendment to be approved by at least 60% of the voters. 60% of the voters, which is now 50%. So they want this issue to be on the ballot August 8th to change the constitutional amendments for, so let's say a group put something on the amendment on the ballot. One of the things that's going on the November ballot is the women's rights, the abortion rights and the women's rights. That's going in the November ballot if they get enough signatures and everything. That is a constitutional amendment that's going in the November ballot. On the August 8th ballot, they want to change it so that any constitutional amendment that goes to the voters, instead of now the 50% plus one, which is the majority, they want to change it so it's 60% of the votes that have to be in favor of that initiative going forward. So after the August election, if that initiative does pass, starting after that point, anything that goes in the ballot, which will be the next election in November, those constitutional amendments would have to have 60% to pass that initiative. Also, beginning with the petitions that are filed with the Secretary of State on or after January 1st, 2024, it eliminates the 10-day cure period to gather additional signatures for the initiative petitions proposing for a constitution amendment. So right now, they a group or organization has 10 days. If they don't have enough signatures, they have 10 days to go out and get more signatures. So if this initiative passes on the August 8th ballot, that 10 days is no longer available. It will be eliminated for initiatives that are for the Constitution amendments. Also, it will require any initiative petitions for the constitutional amendment to be signed by at least 5% of the electors of each county in the state. Right now, it's 44, half of the counties, 44 of the 88 counties have to have signatures. If this initiative passes on August 8th, it means that any initiative going forward, starting January 1st, 2024, all of the counties will have to have at least 5% signatures across all the 88 counties. So this is a major, it's a major initiative, and we need to get people out to vote. So we can't let this initiative pass on August 8th if it's put on the ballot, because that will make it more difficult for the reproductive rights initiative that's going to be on the November ballot if it's enough signatures for that. So, you know, pass the word out about to everybody, and voting with the voting laws that change beginning of this year, you have to have a photo ID if you go and vote in person on election day, or if you vote early at the Board of Elections. I'm telling everybody, if you don't already have a photo ID, if you have the documentation, birth certificate, and a Social Security card to go to the BMV to get an ID, you can get one for free in the state of Ohio. If you do not have a photo ID and there's going to be a problem getting your birth certificate or your Social Security card, I'm stressing to everyone, vote by mail. Still work on getting that photo ID, but you don't want to be, you know, at the last minute, you know, trying to get all this information and stuff together. Vote by mail and still work on getting your photo ID, because next year is 2024, presidential election, primary and general election. You're going to have your photo ID to vote then as well. So there's so many things that are being put in place to discourage people from voting and to hamper or to be able to be a deterrent from people to voting. But we need to let people know, don't let this be a deterrent. You need to get out and vote, because a vote can turn this issue down if we just get out and do it. A vote can pass the women's reproductive rights if we just get out and do it. so many people are talking about it, but we need to, together do it. Now, the 50% plus one, that's been in effect since the 1920s.
Right.
Now they want to come along and change it to the 60%, only so that, and constitutional amendments are harder to pass.
Very good report. Thank you. Very good. Mr. James Jerome Bell,
Yes.
there was statewide primary yesterday. All cities didn't vote in the state, but our neighbor next door in Summit County had a red hot election. They had 7 people running for mayor of Akron, a city that never had an African American mayor. African Americans were on the ballot over there. Fair.
Mhm.
Would you share with us what happened in Akron yesterday?
With a close mandate as a candidate could get in a 7-person race, Shamus Malik is the presumptive mayor of Akron following the results of the Democratic primary Tuesday. Malik, 32, who is of Pakistani and Irish descent, is poised to become the first person of color to lead the 200-year-old city of 190,000 residents. The Harvard-educated attorney and first-term city councilman got off to an early lead and never trailed throughout election night on his way to collecting 43.2% of the vote. The next closest challenger, Akron Deputy Mayor for International Government Affairs, Marco Somerville, received 25.7% of the vote. In third place, Ward 5 Councilwoman Tara Mosley received 17.5% of the votes, for which she thanked her supporters before heading to Malik's watch party at the John S. Knight Center to personally congratulate him on his decisive victory. District 4 Summit County Councilman Jeff Wilhite had 8% of the votes counted, followed by 4.2% for Mark Greer and less than 1% each for Keith Mills and Joshua Schaefer. No independents filed to run this year, and the only Republican, Jim Isabella, failed to collect enough ballot signatures, barring the off chance that a write-in candidate would run and mount a potential upset. Malik is all but certain to become the next mayor. Inside the atrium of the downtown event center, he waited until the very last precinct in Akron was reported before his Aunt Mary introduced him, calling him a man of excellence, integrity, perseverance, and inclusivity. Akron, you picked a winner, she said, and the crowd went wild. Malik made his way through a sea of backpats and hugs. At the microphone, he looked up at the preloaded speech, which he mostly followed, and then out of the diverse mix of young, old, black and white faces that filled the room. How about that? He asked with a smile. You sent a message. You said it very loud and very clear. Thanks to the people in this room and across our city, change is coming. As he has throughout the campaign, even when faced with negative ads and debate stage attacks, Malik accepted his victory with gratitude and dignity. I just want to say, Mr. Bibb, once again, just like what we were seeing in Tennessee and now in Akron, we have a new breed of young, collective politicians whose message is that of inclusivity and also progress. And so I just want to say that this Akron and Samaris race was one in which we all can be proud of.
Thank you. Good job, Mr. James Jerome Bell. On that quick notice, you were at work today, and I called you and told you what had happened. Bring us a report. You did a good job.
Thank you.
All right. Is Miss Sharon Pittman in the house? And Sharon Pittman, would you bring us up to date on Juneteenth extravaganza, Saturday, the 17th of June, Sunday, the 18th of June, and Monday, the national holiday, the 19th of June.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Thank you
All
for
right.
having me back, Mr. Bibb. I am here to speak about the People Get Ready Juneteenth Extravaganza Weekend, which, as Mr. Bibb gave the dates, will be kicking off on Saturday, June 17th at the East Cleveland Library from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And on Sunday, June 18th, the Juneteenth Father's Day dinner will be held at Christie's Restaurant and Event Center, located at 424 East 200th Street in Euclid, Ohio, 44119. For ticket information, contact me, the event planner, Sharon Penman, at 216-379-8911, or contact Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. at his office. The number is 216-681-1469, or on his mobile device, the number is 216-659-4619. And on Monday, the national holiday, June
Amen.
19th, the annual Juneteenth parade and Juneteenth Day festivities will be done in East Cleveland, and we will have additional further information coming forth for that. Stay tuned to People Get Ready, and people, you better get ready.
All right.
All right. Got some new information, Reverend Fair.
Yes, sir.
The program will be held at your old mentor church,
Yes. Mhm.
Edward Small,
Yes, sir.
Starlight Baptist Church, where Sharon Penman used to pass when she was going to school in East Cleveland.
Actually, Mr. Bibb, I was baptized at Starlight Baptist Church.
Well, you're going to have a homecoming.
Yes, sir. I cannot wait to walk through those doors
And,
again.
Tell our good friend and supporter, Miss Tammy Kennedy, we're going to need some more supplies
Yes, sir.
to the church.
All right.
We'll coordinate that with Reverend Anthony L. Small Sr.
Yes.
and Reverend Ben Fair, because he knows around everybody that we need to get the supplies there.
Sounds
We'll have to
good.
do it ourselves, but we will have supplies for people when they march
Yes.
on that Monday.
Yes.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you.
All right. Now, before we go to the last piece, right before last, Miss Candace Jones was gone this past weekend.
Okay.
I mean, this business opportunity mall is cooking, Reverend.
All right.
It's cooking. We got everything in this mall.
Mhm.
This mall, Beechwood ain't got nothing on this mall. Bill's business opportunity mall is going. Tell us what happened down in Cincinnati, Miss Candace Jones.
So for those of you that may not have been online or were not at the Cincinnati location, you missed a great event. It was awesome. Starting off with the Friday evening with the opportunity event given by the CEO and the COO, Paul Michael and Tony Swantek. Just an overview of the company. It was open to the public. Anybody who wanted to come. There were a lot of guests that came, new people hearing about SNAP for the first time. And if you've heard me talk about SNAP delivered for several months now, and when you think about, getting on the bottom line of a business that's up and coming and starting, SNAP is one of those that was just started off in 2021 as a food delivery service and helping restaurants out. So they always knew that they wanted to add more to SNAP other than just SNAP delivered. So this weekend, 2 new verticals were announced. You also heard me talk about the ERC program, which is part of SNAP Financial. ERC program is Employee Retention Tax Credit that a business can get up to $26,000 per W-2 employee if they kept employees hired during the pandemic. Now, the ERC was part of the CARES Act in 2020, so businesses can still apply for a tax credit. This is going to go away in 2025, April 15th, 2025. So a business, you still need to apply because this is money from the IRS, from the government. It's not that often that you get this money that you would not normally be getting. So if you're interested in hearing more about it, you can either contact me or Mr. Bibb to find out more and how you can get your business registered to get a part of that $26,000 per W-2 employee, because that's a lot of money that the business can do what they want to do with it. They don't have to pay the money back. And this is a tax credit off the payrolls that were paid in 2020 and 2021. So the firm that does the calculations for the SNAP financials does detailed work as far as figuring out how much of a credit you can get. So even though a business may have had PPP loans, they can still apply for tax credits with the ERC. So I want to share some information about two other verticals that were announced this weekend also. So all day Saturday and Sunday were training opportunities, but it was just, it was fun while we were doing the training as well. So, and as Paul Michael and Tony Swansek, the CEO and COO, mentioned, even in the start of the business, they want to add verticals that are going to be of value to those that are going to participate. So these two new verticals are, just as SNAP Delivered and SNAP Financial are. The two new verticals are SNAP Health, which is health insurance, and SNAP Energy, which is gas and electric for commercial properties, starting out with commercial properties. So SNAP Health, which is health insurance, because how many people out there need health insurance? And there's a wave going out now. You may have heard some things in the news about there's going to be some changes in the overall health insurance arena, which some people may be dropped from what they currently have. So this is a good opportunity to get on board with SNAP. And to get on board with SNAP, it's free. You can have access to all these different verticals. You sign up for free and you stay for free. And at the convention, they were talking about it's free because it doesn't cost anything for you to be a part of SNAP, and it doesn't cost anything for you to stay a part of SNAP. But yet you can help so many people out with these verticals. So the SNAP health insurance is to get people that don't have health insurance, or if they do have health insurance, a better program that they may be able to partake in as well. SNAP Energy, again, for commercial properties or buildings to give them a better rate. Now, I don't know if some of you may have heard that on June 1st, the energy rates are going to be going up. And not only just up a little bit, but they're going to be going up more than doubled the rates that they are now. So you want to get on board with SNAP Energy to get a good rate now for those commercial properties. And if you think of a commercial property and the amount of energy they use for gas and electric, you can make a sizable commission with those as well. And I just want to give you just a little sample of the SNAP insurance. For one of the insurance, you can make anywhere between $10 and $25 per person that you sign up for the SNAP Health. So their opportunities are there. Also, what was announced were award programs based on the milestones that you make with the business. There are various different opportunities to get items, Apple TV, engraved to me travel bags, designer shopping spree, a cruise for two. These are just the different awards that are going to be awarded to various different SNAP resources for different levels.
Okay, Ms. Candace.
So much to explain, but
Yeah, what I'm going to do next week, I want you to start with this, and so you can explain it a little thorough. But tell us the date of the next convention of SNAP before we tell everybody good night.
The
That's a
next
convention coming up.
convention is going to be a leadership conference that will be July 21st through the 23rd, and it will be in Florida. And I will give you more information on that as well. But it will be July 21st. Oh, here it is. July 21st through the 23rd, Leadership Certification Conference for managers and above. Grow your organization, tools and training to succeed. So it will be in a PGA National Resort and Spa in Palm
What's the
Beach
date?
Gardens,
What's the day of the
Florida,
week is that?
Friday through Sunday.